What's going on, y'all? Welcome to Triple Z. I'm your host, Isaiah Henry. The NBA Cup started Friday night, and we had banger after banger after banger. So let's get into these games. The Portland Trailblazers get the 109-107 victory over the Denver Nuggets as Jeremy Grant sinks two clutch free throws with 1.4 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Portland can be such a great defensive team this season that Toumani Camara and Jrue Holiday can both make an all-defensive team. Two defensive stoppers that can switch comfortably onto any perimeter or interior player. Jrue Holiday gets switched on to Nikola Jokic, and Jokic gives it up to Jamal Murray, who's being defended by Donovan Clingan at the top of the key. If you're the Portland Trailblazers, that's a matchup you do not want Donovan Clingan to be in. Jrue Holiday then comes over to show help, and Jamal Murray kicks it to Nikola Jokic, who's in the corner, and Jrue Holiday has a perfect closeout on Nikola Jokic, tips the ball out of his hand, and now it's a broken play for the Denver Nuggets where Jamal Murray picks up the ball, and he has 3 to 4 seconds to get a shot up, and it's a fadeaway corner three for Jamal Murray that he misses. Toumani Camara and Jrue Holiday picking up Jamal Murray in the backcourt, and they're so intelligent about it because they're not trying to force a turnover or get a steal in the backcourt. They want Jamal Murray to feel the defensive pressure and wear him down. So instead of Jamal Murray, crossing half court within 4 seconds when he's defended by Jrue Holiday and Toumani Camara, it takes him 6 seconds to cross half court. Portland threw everyone at Jamal Murray. Toumani Camara, Jrue Holiday, Jeremy Grant, and Blake Wesley as well. Blake Wesley has some good defensive steals in this game as well. The lineup of Toumani Camara, Jrue Holiday, Deni Avdija, Jeremy Grant, and whoever you want to throw in as the fifth starter, it was a small lineup, but it was a defensive lineup that is versatile, and you can pretty much switch everything. You can extend your defensive pressure. You can take away straight line drives. You can send strong double teams and force the ball out of Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray's hands, which the Portland Trailblazers did really well in this game. You have Deni Avdija and Jeremy Grant sending a double team at Nikola Jokic in the right short corner, and Jokic gives it up to Aaron Gordon, who's in an isolation situation against Jrue Holiday, and Aaron Gordon hits a tough shot over Jrue Holiday. That's a shot you have to live with because the ball's not in Jokic's hands or Jamal Murray's hand. The next defensive possession for the Portland Trailblazers, Toumani Camara and Shaedon Sharpe blitz Jamal Murray. They get the ball out of his hands, and Murray passes it up to Nikola Jokic, but he's immediately met by Jrue Holiday. Jokic gives it up to Christian Braun, who's wide open on the wing for a three, and Christian Braun ultimately misses the shot. Another good defensive possession for the Portland Trailblazers. Toumani Camara had a great defensive sequence around 20 seconds left in the fourth quarter. I can't remember the timestamp for it, but it's Shaedon Sharpe defending Jamal Murray at the top of the key, and once again is Jrue Holiday coming over to send help. Jamal Murray, notices that the double team's coming on by Jrue Holiday and Shaedon Sharpe. Jamal Murray passes it to Cam Johnson on the wing, and Cam Johnson is probably under the impression that he has a free lane to the rim, but Toumani Camara comes from the weak side and swats Cam Johnson's shot attempt at the rim out of bounds. What a defensive play from Toumani Camara. And then the very next possession, he's now guarding Nikola Jokic, the best player in the world. And I don't know how he did it, but Toumani gets a jump ball from behind Nikola Jokic. He's behind Nikola Jokic and he forces a jump ball, a great defensive sequence from Toumani Camara, and then he looks at his bench and does his box logo. That forces Jokic and Toumani to do a jump ball. And if you look at it, Jokic is facing the basket, but he can just tip it right to Aaron Gordon. And that's exactly what happened. Jokic tips it to Aaron Gordon, and you got to give credit to Shaedon Sharpe. Shaedon Sharpe is not known to be this defensive guard, right? There's been moments where he's been taken off the court because his defensive motor isn't what it needs to be for the Portland Trailblazers. But Aaron Gordon gets the ball, shot clock's winding down, he turns around, and Jeremy Grant's there to contest it. But then Shaedon Sharpe does get the block ultimately on Aaron Gordon, which is a really great play for Portland. And now, shot clock violation for the Denver Nuggets. And now we get into the situation where Portland has they have 3.3 seconds, I believe, left in the fourth quarter. It's a tie ball game, and the Blazers give it to Jeremy Grant. He gets to the spot, but then he ultimately gets fouled by Aaron Gordon, and Jeremy Grant steps to the free throw line and sinks 2 clutch free throws, and that's pretty much ball game. What a defensive masterclass from the Portland Trailblazers. I know OKC last year had a historic defensive rating, and the win margin with their defense was great as well, but Portland having Tamani Kimura and Drew Holiday on that perimeter being secured with their defense where they can switch those two players onto anyone. Like, you saw Drew Holiday guarding Nikola Jokic. You saw Tamani Kimura guarding Nikola Jokic. Denny Avdija picking up in the backcourt. Same with Jeremy Grant. Portland defensively did a good job of also disrupting the two-man game between Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray. Jeremy Grant gets a deflection on Murray, and the pass is initially meant for Nikola Jokic, who's being defended by Drew Holiday, but since Grant gets the deflection and Jokic kind of, mishandles the ball, Drew Holiday is right there to swipe the ball out of Jokic's hands. Just having the versatility, the athleticism on the perimeter, and feeling so comfortable as a Portland defense to switch everything. Small ball lineup really worked well against the Denver Nuggets zone defense, where it's Tamani getting into the middle of the paint, Denny Avdija breaking down a defender off the dribble, getting inside the paint, getting fouled, Drew Holiday as well. Drew Holiday had I think 10 assists in this game. So moving the ball around, setting screens for one another, the movement off the ball, cutting behind the Nuggets zone defense, that really worked well for the Portland Trailblazers. And they improved to 4-2 in the Western Conference, which is pretty damn great for Portland. That's my team. I'm jacking the Portland Trailblazers for this season. Let's move on to some other games. The Atlanta Hawks defeat the Indiana Pacers 128-108. Trae Young did not play in this game because he was out with an injury. Should be reevaluated in a couple of days or in a couple of weeks. So we got to see Jalen Johnson as a 1A option for Atlanta, and he was running the show. 22 points, 13 rebounds, 8 assists. He had one beautiful pass to Richache where he catches it off the glass, and he does one bounce pass to Richache, who's on the other end of the court, and then he just dunks it home. A beautiful, beautiful all-around game for Jalen Johnson. It was pretty ugly for the Indiana Pacers. They're playing without Halliburton, obviously, Andrew Nembhard, Bennedict Mathurin. Obi Toppin needs foot surgery, I believe. So it looked pretty ugly out there, and it was really just Pascal Siakam who's out there to create his own shot. And Indiana was in this game earlier on in the first half because they kept going to the free throw line, and Pascal was just, doing what he needed to do, making tough shots, turnaround fadeaways. He was doing everything. But then, with the Atlanta Hawks, they have gotten better defensively, whereas Jalen Johnson, Key Alexander-Walker, Dyson Daniels, Kristaps Porzingis with his rim protection. So in the second half, you saw those free throw attempts for the Indiana Pacers get less and less and less. So shout out to the Atlanta Hawks. The Boston Celtics snapped the Sixers 4-game winning streak, 109-108. Jaylen Brown scored 32 points. It would be Boston to break that streak for the 76ers. The Raptors defeat the Cavaliers without Donovan Mitchell, 112-101. Jamison Battle, an undrafted player, 20 points, 6 of 6 from behind the three-point line. Excellent shooting from him. The Bulls extend their winning streak to 5-0. Bulls beating the New York Knicks 135-125. Josh Giddey, 32 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists. He is looking like an all-star so far to start this season. And this is the Bulls' 5th game in a row where they have 6 players score in double figures. They don't have a traditional, superstar or star player, so they have to spread the wealth, and it's Kevin Huerter, it's Ayo Dosunmu, it's Patrick Williams. So the Bulls are off to a great start, man, in the Eastern Conference. Luka Doncic makes his return to the Lakers lineup, drops 44 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists in a win against the Memphis Grizzlies, 117-112. Luka Doncic is averaging 45 points to start the season. I want to know if Nico Harrison regrets that trade, because Anthony Davis is out with an injury, and Luka Doncic is averaging 45 points for the Los Angeles Lakers. Ridiculous stuff. Devin Booker, 36 points, leads the Suns to a win versus the Utah Jazz, 118-96. It's still free Devin Booker until it's backwards. And after erasing a 17-point deficit, Pelicans tie the game 124-124. Kawhi Leonard wins it at the buzzer, handing the Pelicans their 5th straight loss to start the season. Willie Green is going to be on the hot seat if the Pelicans continue on the path that they're on right now. It looks really bad. And to be 0-5 without owning your own first-round draft pick, it's looking a little bit sorry and gloomy in New Orleans. Thank you for listening to Triple Z Podcast. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Let me know down in the comment section what was your favorite game from the NBA Cup tournament. I'd love to hear your thoughts. See you guys next time. Zzz.